Hello again. Sometimes you get to an age, I don't know if I'm at that age, but I think I might be. And it's like in the middle. So, I mean, they say that middle age starts at around 35. I suppose if you live until 70, then 35 would be in the middle of it. But I don't think there are many 35-year-olds these days who think of themselves as middle-aged. Um, and of course, 200 years ago, we'd be lucky to get to 35 or 40. Peasants never used to live to very old age because the exploiting class used to squeeze all the work out of them until they dropped dead at the machine when they were 35, 38, 42. If you lived till you were 42, you'd be like, doing well. Doing well in a sense, doing well at your lathe, while the capitalists squeezed you by the pips. Anyway, so there's this age in the middle, and I'm at it, of course. You can see that I'm not 22. But think about those times. I mean, I've got diaries dating back to the late 60s. I know, I don't look that old, but there you go. That's veganism for you. Anyway, so I've got diaries dating back to the late 60s, so I can remember things like Stan Ogden falling off his ladder in Coronation Street. That's it. That's what I'll take to my grave with me. Imagine that. So I can look back on diary entries from any date really, from 1969 to 2021, and I can see what I was doing on this particular day in any given year within 5 or 6 minutes, because I've got the diaries all stacked up in a row. Not because I'm like OCD or anything, it's just that something I do. And these aren't diaries like Samuel Pepys talking about the Great Fire of London, or diaries like Tony Benn talking about how Thatcher once shafted John Major. It's not like that. These are just like everyday diaries, like what happened in the day, sometimes what's going on in the country, and of where I've been that day, holidays, things like that, theatre shows. Anyway, so I can recall very clearly my 16th birthday. In fact, I'm going to share with you all these important dates now in the spirit of Glasnost. So, 16th birthday, that was a very, very grim affair. And that would have been 1980 something or other. And so I was 16, and I went out with a friend of mine called Bharat Patel, and we walked around Ashton, and I remember feeling quite upset because no one had really done anything for me. I was 16, and it was just like unmarked, a bit grim, just shit really. And I walked around Ashton past the Ashton Underline, that is, past the market hall in Ashton, and we walked along some cars, and I remember feeling sort of a well of sadness inside me. It was nice to be with Bharat because we always had a laugh. But yeah, so I was just entering into GCSEs, or O levels as they were called at the time, which are school exams in the UK. And so 16, it was just shit really. And that was 40 years ago. And then my 18th birthday, that was quite a lot better, because at that time I'd moved to be living with a great couple called Jonathan and Marguerite Clatworthy in a vicarage called St Peter's Church in Ashton-under-Lyne. So I'd come to be living there with them, and they were brilliant people, and they rescued me from quite a desperate situation. So on my 18th birthday, they took me out for a meal to a nice restaurant called Lancashire Tandoori. It was probably the nicest restaurant in Ashton at the time, and we went there for a meal. And also I had a girlfriend at the time called Kareen, who bought me this necklace, which is just a little thin one. She was 18 as well at the time, and still got it, which is amazing. Christ, I thought I'd snapped it then. Imagine. So yeah, that was my 18th. Nice meal. Kareem was there, and again Bharat Patel was there. 21 came, and obviously 21st birthday is supposed to be a big thing, you know, quite a significant milestone in someone's life. And I remember that night I spent with who would become my wife, Fiona, in Blackpool, and we went and we stayed in a little guest house, which was the best one we could afford at the time. It was just a little shithole, really. And we stayed there on Albert Street, I think. It was either Albert Street or Coronation Street in Blackpool. Just one of those little backstreet guest houses, and we had a small room with some biscuits, and we went that night to see what we thought we'd be doing was seeing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, but that had finished at the Grand Hotel, at the Grand Theatre, a week earlier. So instead we saw Lenny Henry, and that was great. He was big and famous at the time. I think he probably still is. He's certainly big. And then that was the 21st. Also earlier that day I'd gone to see my dad, and I think he gave me a tenner or something for my 21st birthday. And also I was working at the time at a piano bar as a piano vocalist called Potter's in Salford, Manchester, and the owner of that place, he was great. He was called Jeff Lee, and he took me that day to some Jewish tailors, and he bought 3 suits for me, which I wore for like 10 years, and he bought me 3 suits, and that was really great. I remember these acts of generosity. I think you do in life when you're getting older. You start to remember who was nice to you, who was kind, who asked you how you felt, who was a shoulder to cry on when you needed it the most. Anyway, that was 21. By the age of 30, I was married to Fiona, and I'd had a daughter called Leona, who was then 1 year old. So by the time I got to 30, we also had a successful entertainment agency, and so at 30 we hired a little venue in Stalybridge, and we had a Vickers and Tarts fancy dress party. Loads of friends came, friends that I'm still in touch with now. People like, if you're watching this, Tony Williams, Guy Manring, Stephen Machin. Quite a few people came to the 30th, and it was a great do. Yeah, that was a nice night. 30th. 40th, by the time we were 40, we'd moved to Blackpool, land of the flying piss pot, as Fufu Lamar once called it. We hired a venue called the Carousel Hotel, which is still there, and lots of friends and family came, Now that was 15 years ago, and I realise now that a lot of people on that 40th birthday party, a lot of them are dead, the ones who came to that now. I'm thinking about people like Alan Davey, John Hackwell, my dad, and about 4 or 5 more. So that was a big do. Carousel Hotel, lots of people, lots of my daughter's friends, dancing, and jubilation. So that was good, the 40th. 50th was spent at a hotel, another hotel in Blackpool called St Chad's, which is on the promenade, just down the road from the Carousel Hotel, and quite near to where we live now. So St Chad's Hotel was the 50th birthday. And again, a couple of people have died since then. I mean, the great agent Jack Woods was there on that one, and he's dead now. It's terrible, really. And some neighbours came. It was quite a good night. Fiona sang all the way through that night, actually. She was, I think she did like a 5-hour singing spot. That was a good night, and people from our past came. So 50 came and went. And now I'm halfway between 50 and 60. And so I can remember all these events very clearly. And I think we're just a collection of our memories. Because if we had no memories, we wouldn't know who we were, would we? And that's the terrible thing about the frailty of getting older. And I mean the older generation than me, the 75 and 80-year-olds, when they start to lose their memories, or the memories become fragmented. So I don't know what I'll be doing on my 60th. Might make a YouTube video. I haven't decided what to do. Loads of people do different things, don't they, on that? But what I am struck by, and you might be struck by it as well, is time goes really quickly. You won't know it when you're 20, because when you're 20, early 20s, you don't have a sense of the passage of time. You know, like when you're 10, each year seems to take 4 years. And people say, oh, don't wish your life away. It goes quick when you get older. And you ignore them because you think they're fools. But then when you get to 20, you think the whole world is in front of you, that all your dreams will come true and everything will go right for you. But unless you've got contacts, that never happens. Hardly any dreams come true, and usually nothing goes right for you. That's been the case for me anyway. But you don't know that at 20, because if you knew it at 20, you'd just be filled with ennui. So, and then 30 comes, and you think, wow, got to 30 quickly. 40, 50, 55. And then you're in the middle. And you're only in the middle at 55 if you're going to live till you're 110, which would be a rare thing. So I might leave another video when I'm 110, tell you what it's like. Might have a few more grey hairs then, a few more gold teeth. So yeah, thanks for watching as well. Don't forget to click like and fist subscribe. Keep fisting, whatever age you are, keep clicking like and subscribe and banging and smashing buttons. Bang all you can, fist, subscribe, like, stick your tongue out, jump in the air, fucking do a fandango. Just keep living, keep healthy, stay young, keep smiling.